marker origin review, guys. Get right to it. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela Kelly-Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got our top films of 2023 coming out later this weekend. We will be doing a live segment of that on Saturday, so be on the lookout for that as well. And if you are new to the channel, guys, thank you so much for making this a part of your day. And if you haven't seen our past videos, be sure to check out our other videos out there along with this one, right? Finish up this one first, and be sure to subscribe to us, subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page as well on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all the good social media stuff. We're everywhere. Or if you're just listening to this on an audio version, thank you so much, guys, and be sure to subscribe to us, vice versa, if you haven't already, on our YouTube channel. But yeah, let's get right to it. Angela, what film are we talking about today?
Oh, this was the one that I had my eyes on.
Yeah, we both did,
right?
Yeah,
because I love the two main leads. So I really like John Bernthal. We just met him in June. It's past Dallas Fan Expo.
Yeah,
and Ingenue Ellis-Taylor. You know, she's won so many things, or she's been nominated for so many things for several projects. Mm-hmm. So just seeing these two right away, I was like, I'm sold. But learning more about the story and everything, I'm like, I'm double sold. So we are reviewing today Origin, ladies and gentlemen. It tells of a story of the unspoken system that has shaped America and chronicles how lives today are defined by human divisions. Okay, let's get right to it. This movie, I was on board from the get-go, from the trailer and everything. It was very interesting. It was very points that were like, okay, where is it leading up to in a way. And the trailer, I gotta say, the trailer, I didn't like the trailer. I was on board more so because of reading the synopsis, for one. For two, was the actors and actresses they have in here. I was way more on board with that. John Bernthal, of course, which I gotta admit, though, every time he was on camera, I just loved and adore him. I mean, he's fantastic on camera. There's a lot of moments in here where he really shines, even the small role that he has, because he has a supporting role in this, super small sport.
Super small. I just believed every word that came out of his mouth. I believed the fact that he was just in this story, the way his character was put in here, because this is a biopic as well, of the making of this book and everything. So I gotta say, though, there's special moments, tender moments in here that are very revealing. There's a lot of segments in here where we get put across in a way that might be a little obviously a very political, but more so the human culture, as you know, obviously way before we were even born and everything, and more so on the culture of the fact that it's not racism.
So basically, the story follows author Isabel Wilkerson and her journey on how she's creating this book, the cast, the origins of our discontents. So basically, it's just her, finding this thesis, if you will, about the caste system and how it's affected all sorts of people over several decades, hundreds of years, dating back millennia. So it's not necessarily racism, it's the caste system. Yeah. And she does several points in her book, about slavery in America, and there's the same kind of similar division in India, and then how about the Holocaust and World War II and the Nazis. All that, she compares it, she connects it, and the way that she researches it, because a lot of this movie is about her researching. I think it was very well done. I absolutely loved seeing all the history, all the studies, all what she was finding in her pursuit of making this book. And I personally haven't read the book, but I do want to read it now. It remained on the bestseller list for several weeks. And it just makes me want to, because I'm not into history. I'm not one to really like to delve into history, but this makes me want to. I really want to learn about what she had in this book. The points she made. It does talk about certain points she made, the pillars, if you will, that she had outlined in her book. It does talk. She does explain it. It's almost like she narrates over certain parts of the movie with her studies and everything. So I found that super interesting. The way it was presented, and I absolutely loved the actress. She did such a great job. She made me cry so many times. But I think it was definitely an interesting point, the caste system. I had heard of it, but not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So it's the way she explains it, because she does have to, in several points, explains it to like her family members, like normal people like me and you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I really liked, learning about that. I think that was really cool to see.
And that's the thing too, is that it's not normal. It's not the norm. America and everything. It's just the fact is that what we use a lot is racism. That's slurred around so many times, and she does bring up a good point. The actress as well, playing that character and everything, she does bring up a very good point. Is the fact is that racism is slurred out so many times and everything. And is this a political movie? In a sense, I would say yes. Maybe no at times, yeah, but I think it's definitely one of those topics to where like it divides itself in a way to where like it's class, it's your culture and everything. And I really love one of the experiments that you mentioned that we talked about off camera. Was I thought that was really great. That was really phenomenal, knowing that actually I never knew that actually did happen.
Yeah, so
in the South, in Alabama, I believe, where they were at.
That's really cool. So like she draws her research from different studies that have occurred in the past, and one of the studies
to support her thesis.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the I guess experiments, the anthropological experiments that she references was these two couples, a black couple and a white couple, colleagues.
That no one knew about. It was
no one knew.
Kept
they worked
secret
together.
Yeah.
And they kind of went from small southern town to small southern town, kind of trying to assimilating and trying to really study, Jim Crow and the culture behind that. And so she references that study. Yeah. And it's really cool because they reenact that, know. And it's really interesting to see that. I didn't know that had happened. Mm-hmm. Like I said, seeing this movie and the way it outlined all of this, because she references a lot of different material. Yeah. She visits a lot of different places. She studies so long, and she gets all this info from. It really makes me want to go back and, like you say, look into that for myself and read into that for myself. And I think that's really the neat thing about this movie. It makes you want to learn more and get that knowledge. And knowledge is power. And
I know exactly. And even more, even when you go into the depth of this and everything, it's really it shapes itself to where, like, it is this well put together and everything. And I know we talked about it off camera, and I gotta say that this movie, it's a really good, solid film. I really enjoyed. There's a lot of moments in here that I really did enjoy, a lot of tender moments, a lot of heartbreaking moments into what this character, or what Isabel goes through and everything. And it's definitely a roller coaster for her. Not that she went through any of those situations. It was more so the loss that came about, that happened around this, without spoiling for you, but just family loss and everything. So it really takes a shocking waves into her life. I mean, it really touches up on that, and I thought that was really well put together. There's certain these dramatic scenes in here that I really did enjoy. These shots of leaves and everything. I thought that was really good. That was well put together and everything. Good job to Neon for that. And I gotta say though, there's definitely moments in here as well that I really got sucked into. The fact is, like, what if it's not racism, what is it? Because that's the thing too. She even said this isn't not like another racism piece, and I thought that was really great, because I feel like, and she's right, she even said there's enough of that, like, what's the difference here, what's drawing the line here? And she makes that connectivity with the fact that the Germans and everything, the Germans took what the Jim Crow laws had already here in America, and so, like, it really touches up on that a lot.
And they had, like, also a conversation in the movie with another couple while she was in Germany. Yeah. And she starts talking about early, like, bits about this book, like, I'm trying to connect this and this and this. Yeah. And that person's like, there's absolutely no connection, completely different. And at like face value, you're like, oh yeah, like it is different completely. But then she explains it, and you're like, wow, you know what? You know what? It just makes you question, and I like that you just want to. You're intrigued by that proposal, it's really cool to see that. Like, you're like, you know what, the caste system. I've never, like I said, I've
never heard. Yeah,
I'm sure I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
So I didn't get taught that in high school. I could tell you that. I'll leave it at that. I did not get taught.
I feel like maybe they touched on it briefly, but it's not something you we delved
it's
into.
embedded in us, you know.
Yeah,
it's in a way, and that's the education system for you. But it just, you know, it's more, it's really on the reality is that you know, that going back to the point that Angela made, it's the fact is that she had another compelling not argument, but a compelling thesis of her own that she brought about, and I was like, oh crap, like, she's right, like, in a way, because it was the opposing, because of that Isabel was connecting it all, but like it was the opposer. I was like, oh smokes, that's real. And that's the thing too, is that don't think that, you know, that's the greatest thing that we are in this country, is that we can ask questions. We can really say, like, if I don't like a movie or anything, any movie or anything, we have the opportunity to be like, well, why don't you like this movie? Why don't you, you know, or certain things. And that's the thing too, when it even comes to politics, you know, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. As the fact is that if you're voting for Republican, if you're voting for Democrat, you can still ask those questions and not be you know, beaten up, or not be butcher or anything like that. Just not, there no what do you call it, no punishment in asking those questions, you know, because and that's the thing too, is that I feel like, and I love what this movie really emphasized on, is that you can question certain things, even if you're against her book, even if you're against it, there was still that point of view where, like, hey, there's people that she interviewed that were against her, or against her book, in a way to where her thesis was connecting it all. And I thought that was really good. That was a really good enlightenment there.
It definitely, like I said, you listen to her, like you say, arguments or points. She has a very compelling argument. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, okay. You know what? That does make sense. It makes you want to learn more. Yeah. And I think exactly, to not only, because she did it successfully in her book. It was a bestseller for so long. Yeah. Then it said at the very end, like 50 something weeks, 50 plus weeks. Crazy, right? And so it's a very compelling book, but to portray that into a film, you know, as an audience member, following her on her journey as she's making this, you also, as an audience member, want to learn more too. Exactly. You want to get there. You want to reach the end of the not necessarily reaching the end of the tunnel, but like you want to follow through, get all this info, figure it out, piece it together with her. And I think that's such a, for a almost 2.5 hour film. Yeah. I think that's a very successful like message. Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I gotta be honest though, the way this was really put together and everything, I could have, and we talked about this off camera, I really could have taken probably about 20 a little over 20 minutes of this film. The pacing for me, so the pacing was not bad. There was definitely moments in here though that I was like, okay, it was the moments that you're thinking it's getting slow, it picked up. So it's like, okay, it didn't keep the gas on the whole time, I guess, so to speak. But I still enjoyed this film. There was still, I still had these very good studies that she did, really good stories that she was giving about of her studies and everything. So I thought that was really good in all respect and everything. And as far as acting goes, I gotta admit the acting was not bad at all. I mean, John Berthal was phenomenal, you know, along with his counterpart as well.
She was great. I think she was great. She was so compelling. I think she did such a great job. Like, you know, there were so many sad moments. There were so many like moments where she's determined. You feel that motivation too. I think she did great. John Bernthal, great as always. Oh yeah. I loved all the rest of the cast. I think it was so great. Like I said, a lot of it's reenactments of, like, you know, periods of time and you know, things that she references, and I think that was really cool to see. I like reenactments just personally, but I really believe that it's going to be maybe not for everybody, like a movie not for everybody, again, because of the runtime. I didn't have a problem with the time and the pacing. I think it kept me compelled the whole way through. But I do think not everyone is gonna necessarily like that, because it's a very like academia, it's very like history, there's not really a lot of action that goes on, to be honest. So I think you're gonna have to like that kind of film to be able to enjoy it. I still encourage people to give it a try. Oh yeah. That there's
we do action. Yeah, we do recommend this movie, guys, for all the moviegoers out there. If you are interested in this particular film and everything, if you are interested in those in a way to where like and that's the thing too, this film kind of does educate you in a way, and if you're interested in the history, if you're interested in all that, we do recommend this movie, guys, for you moviegoers out there. Was this the film that we deserved? I'm gonna say yes, definitely, because this definitely brings awareness. This definitely brings like, holy smokes, like this is racism and are not the same thing. They are not
like what is caste system, what's it about? And then you hear her arguments, and you're like, wow, this is existing.
It makes sense.
Like centuries, like millennia, and it makes you, like you said, want to have that knowledge. So
definitely. This is also directed by Ava, which she's actually made Selma. She actually made A Wrinkle in Time. Wrinkle in Time, I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but all bets aside, Selma wasn't bad. I feel like it was still missing a few pieces here and there, but all bets aside, I still enjoyed her directing in here and everything. I feel like, and we talked about this as well off camera, in my point of opinion, right? I think this should have been and would have been a little bit more better if it was a documentary. Maybe there is a documentary out there, but I feel like there would have been a little bit better to be a full documentary of a documentary film.
And I disagree. Right? This movie, I don't think was about the book itself. Yeah. I think it was about her making the book. Okay. And what influenced her, like, obviously the loss of family, I think all that contributed to her doing this work. And I can see why the director wanted us to see that journey, not just, this is the book, this is what it's based on of, this is the research. No, I think she wanted us to see Isabel. Yeah. And her story and writing.
No, true. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense there. I feel like it could have been maybe even a Netflix series. You never know. Because I love documentaries. I love documentaries. I'm a huge fan of them, especially when they go in depth like this film did. And that's to say, I love biopics as well, and everything. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But rating 1 out of 10, tell me the highest. What do you give this rating?
I will give it an 8.5 because
Okay. All right. Good rating.
Yeah, well, because it was very interesting. Like I said, I'm not into history. That's not.
I know I'm way more into history than you are.
I love documentaries. Don't get me wrong, but I gravitate more towards like true crime and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So to grab my attention like right off the bat and keep it throughout like an almost 2.5 hour film about history and different types of history and points in time. Yeah. Speaks volumes because I definitely lose track in history. That was my least favorite subject in high school. In high school. Yeah. But I just loved her arguments. I love the arguments made in here. Yeah. Again, the cast was phenomenal. I really liked the overall message, and I think it was a really well done film, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid. 8. 8 exactly, guys. Solid 8. There's just definitely a lot of tender moments in here. In this film, there's a lot of strong moments that I feel like that's really emphasized in here by the actors and the actresses in here as well. Special thesis moments here that I really did enjoy. More so I loved how they showed us the research. I loved how they showed her traveling and everything, because they do show that in the trailer. They show her more traveling all over the world, researching this study, researching for her book, and also at the same time, correcting what that we missed, what that history missed in a way. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I love the reenactments when it comes to like History Channel, when it comes to like documentaries, especially Netflix documentaries where they reenact stuff while they're narrating. Oh, dude, I'm on board for that. I fucking love that. That's fantastic and everything. But I'll leave it at that. Solid 8, guys. You give it 8.5. So we do recommend this movie, guys. If you are a huge history buff, or if you just into politics, I feel like this is a movie for you as well, because it doesn't matter what side you're on, this is going to be an interesting point to where it's going to kind of leave you at a crossroads in a way, to where like you're going to try to want to understand the concept here, what's getting pushed about and everything. So I'll leave it at that.
And maybe you read her book and you can
possibly
compare it to, you can see the other side of what went into the book.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Question is for you guys. Did you enjoy this film? We do recommend this movie, guys, out there. Be sure to check this out at a theater near you. But what did you think of the movie, guys? Put on comments down below. Did you love this movie? Did you hate this movie? Or are you like, what the heck, Ryan and Angela? What are you guys talking about? This movie's not good at all. Put in comments down below, guys, because we still do recommend this movie. This is the Alamo City Movie Talk recommends. Not Alamo Drive Talk, sorry, but Alamo City Movie Talk recommends movie, guys. And thank you so much for making this a part of your day once again. As always, I am your host, Ryan D. Ryan 680.
I'm Angela,
and this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much once again. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and we will see you at the movies, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe, San Antonio. Peace.